And good evening, everybody. How have you been doing? Hopefully, rains have made your life pleasant, more pleasant than anything else. All right. So I'll keep my chat window open so that I keep seeing all of your messages. All right. So, as Samina mentioned, today's topic. So, today's topic is from one of the very hot topics in last couple of weeks. It's been going on, but last couple of weeks, people have been talking a lot about it, criticizing about it, and a lot of debates happening around it. Any idea what's in the education world, especially in social media, that's been happening? What is the topic for children? What is that one skill that's in a lot of question in social media? It's about just one skill. Wow. Jonah Lazarus, it's bullseye, it's coding. Okay. Yes. So before I move ahead, all of you can hear and see me clear. I didn't check in the beginning. You're responding, so you're listening to me. All right, super. Cool. So coding is something which is in a lot of questions in social media. And I have got more than 25 calls from parents. What to do? There's so much of things are going on. Am I missing out? Is my child missing out? Should I put my child on it or should I not? They are like in full confusion. So it took me, initially I was ignoring it. A lot of people suggested, including my sister also suggested, why don't you send your children for coding? I said, let me understand what's happening there. Earlier, before Byju's took over White Hat Junior, it was with, I think, ISRO. At least the name was being said with ISRO. I don't know, is there any truth in that or not? But that's besides the point. But I took some time to think over it. I discussed with my children. Yes, I discussed with my children. They are 6.5 years. They are twins. So I have been discussing about this also. Okay, what's in their mind about coding? So what I'm going to share today, a lot of it came out from them. At least the root thought got initiated from them. So you should bless them because of them, this is the session today. Okay. So questions for you. All right. How many have put your children in coding or any kind of coding classes or training or sessions? Any one of you? Okay. I get one answer, that's no. Not even thinking about it. All right. I know, Joanna, your child is very small. but but you may be surprised. Yesterday I got a flyer, and there any idea what's the minimum age of coding classes people are taking in now? What is the minimum age? Any idea?
Yeah, I've seen some crazy parents starting at 6.
Oh, well, then you are too late. Okay. You have not seen the latest fad yet. I got a flyer for 3 years.
Will they be able to move their fingers?
I don't know. Then the flyer was there, and it's a Dashara camp for coding. I said, fantastic, yaar. 3-year children will be on coding.
Can we do something there legally?
I don't know. I'm just talking about the flyer. I was like really, really crazy about it. Now, and I saw a lot of ads. So you might have seen those Facebook ads about that Bollywood celebrity having triplets, and she's talking about coding and the need of coding in life. Lot of it, right? Including a lot of big celebrities, and all are celebrities. There's no big and small. So so-called Bollywood celebrities are talking about coding. They're putting their children in coding as if they are going to use that coding in life. Right? That gives me a lot of funny tickles. Okay, what's happening? And that took me some time. Okay, if not this, where is it going wrong? Why it is not clear in parents' mind? And why people are able to take many parents for a ride. I'm sorry to use that, but yeah, the moment I hear a 6-year child or 8-year child is taught to prepare a mobile app or come up with a website, and that's what they call it coding, I cannot use any other words than taking for a ride or taken for a ride. Why? Let's understand it. Let me bring up my mind map here. Okay, my favorite mind map. I think in mind maps. All right. So let's understand like what is coding first. If we get that, then perhaps answers will be very easy to get through. But let's get it. What is coding in your mind? What could it be? I know a lot of you are already working on this, and coding day in, day out, we are using it. The question is pretty silly. What is coding? But yet I want to ask this. What is coding? You may unmute and talk. Okay. I see a chat message. Let me open the window. Oh, doesn't let me open. So what is coding? Logical sequence to arrive at a solution. Okay. Isn't that problem solving? Because solution is involved. Yeah. Okay. So how coding and problem solving is different?
In a simple manner, in a simple words, like making a computer to understand our thoughts and act accordingly.
So to communicate with the computer, so you require coding. Okay. What else? What else could be coding? Sometimes we need to take a deeper dive. Okay, let me take a side lane. Let me take a step back and understand how do we understand coding. So parallel track. Okay, how many of you heard about this word called gun? Okay, I said, what silly question I'm asking? Gun. But what do you mean by a gun? Can you tell me the meaning of a gun? That will prompt you what is coding. What is gun? Unmute and talk. Okay, nobody's. I hope I'm not scaring everybody. Okay.
As in the weapon you are talking about, or any abbreviation?
I'm using a word gun, G-U-N. What does it mean?
I am wondering which gun it is. Is it the water gun, the machine gun, the bullet gun?
I like the questions. Interesting. But what does gun mean? And this is an activity I did with my children.
Okay.
So what does gun mean?
Toy or weapon based on your age and how bad it is.
Okay. So it's a toy or a weapon based upon age of a child so that you put it to use appropriate.
Right.
Okay. That's a popular understanding of the word gun. Right. If you go into dictionary and get into the deeper meaning of it, you will find roughly like this. Okay? A gun is an instrument to throw things. Okay, it's as fundamental as that. Does it remind you of the movie Three Idiots?
Yes, it does.
It has to be as simple as this. gun is an instrument to throw things. Now, if you throw bullets with it, it becomes a weapon. If you throw mortar with it, it becomes a mortar gun. If you throw water with it, it becomes a water gun. If you throw juice from it, then like my children invented, this is juice gun, Papa. This is colored water gun and whatnot. So you can make glue gun is another thing.
Yeah, hot glue gun.
Yeah. So gun is not a weapon. It's an instrument to throw things. And the meaning of it is defined by what use you put it in. Now take the parallel path, same original path. What is coding then? Get into the idiotic definition of it. What is coding? I
Throwing
hope people are
command.
opening dictionary.
Throwing
Sorry,
commands.
come again, please.
I said
Throwing commands. Okay.
at a
At the computer. So computer is involved in coding.
Yep.
Okay. Are people opening dictionary? You should open the dictionary, check that.
Or we can say like a sequence of instructions which can be understood by a we can say computer or anybody.
All right. So sequence of instruction to be understood by either a computer or some other people. Okay. Logical sequence, that's what you mentioned. Okay. What else? This session will be quite revealing for you. Revelation. Coding has nothing to do with computers. Let me tell you. It has nothing to do with computers. Okay. If you look into dictionary, I have a dictionary here. Oh, my children took it away. Wow. So it has a very simple meaning. You have some thought or instruction, perhaps in one set of symbols. If you convert them to another set of symbols, that's called coding. As simple as that. From one set of symbols to another set of symbols. And that is true even if you're translating a paragraph in English to Hindi, that's coding. If you put English numbers to Roman numbers, that's coding. If you put numbers into decimal numbers to binary numbers, that's coding. And vice versa, decoding and coding both.
Yeah, even we can assume like a Braille
symbols. Yeah, Braille symbols. That's coding. Absolutely. You put music, sound in terms of notations, that's coding. You see that how fundamental coding is? So when people ask, is coding necessary? What could be the answer now?
Yes.
Absolutely necessary. We have coding in every step of life. You see, if you're cooking, you have some thoughts in your mind, the recipe. You're codifying in terms of all the ingredients and coming up with the outcome, which is called some dish. Right? That's also coding. Yeah, and on very crude meaning these are. But at fundamental, nobody can contest on it. Fundamental meaning of coding is this. And is it necessary? Absolutely necessary. But not learning to come up with a website or a mobile app. That's all of you know today is in declarative language or declarative programming. You don't even write any code. It's all drag and drop. So where is coding happening there? At the most, you're learning how to drag and drop. right? So that's not coding. Coding requires you to put some logic into it. So you have one set of things and you have to put in other set of things. Like, can you tell me some practical uses of, other than computers, okay? Practical uses of coding in real life, even if it is ancient. Participate, we'll have fun, we'll have some exercise on that. Then I'll show you something funny you can go and do with your children. What could be?
In such case, like I can say, even cooking is also like a coding.
Yeah.
Like
But look at it like it's a put it in an organized use of coding. Where has it been used over last maybe 2000 years? And that's what I'm saying. Coding is not new. It's very ancient. Yeah, Parita.
Decoding Sanskrit to our own languages, understanding how it's written.
Precisely. And you know,
right, what to say, our books, religious books, which we are taught right from childhood, like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. Those are all shloka based, right? So, I mean, from the shlokas, the narration is given. So that's also one form of coding, if you ask me.
Precisely. And that's true for all the scriptures in any faith. It's not written in English and Hindi as plain or practical language. It is written in terms of cryptic language. Take
True.
Quran. Quran is not written in English. Quran is written in, very few people may be able to decipher that code. You have to learn this, get the skill to decipher it. So all people read is interpretation of somebody, not the original one. Right? Let's take Hindu scriptures. People don't read the original scriptures. People read translated. So somebody's translation we are reading, not the original one. Right? So they are codified. It's written in code. If you come into let's say professional use, organized use of it also, and some of it, let's say the secret messages of spies, there used to be code language. You know, there were symbols, signs, they used to use it. There was secret, which is cryptography, history of cryptography. Even today it is used. Cryptography is one of the very, very hot science, because you need to encrypt all the messages. Take our most popular messenger service. It says it's end-to-end encrypted. And that's the use of coding. And it has a series of coding activity to be done so that people cannot figure out in between, unless you know all the steps. And I'll tell you something more. How many of you heard about this term called this technology called Morse code? Remember Morse code? Right. And Morse code is an amazing use of coding. Yeah, movies have shown it. So the moment I was thinking about this coding, I got in touch with one of my friend who was in Merchant Navy. We were childhood friends. So I immediately remembered he used to talk about Morse code. So I called him, can you teach me Morse code? He says, what will you do with Morse code? I said, I want to teach my children Morse code. He says, after leaving Merchant Navy, first time somebody has talked about, forget about asking, somebody has talked about Morse code. I'm happy somebody is finding use in that. So then we had a conversation about it. He sent me some of the material, best way to learn it, all those things he said. And it's so interesting. And that's a fantastic coding. There cannot be better coding. So if you want to really teach your children coding, teach Morse code. Morse code is like amazing use of coding. Cryptography is another use of coding. Okay. Right. Now, today, I want to do two things after this. One will have a practical, one of the cryptography things will have fun with this. And second, I want to also get your feel ki whatever you're doing every day with your children, find out what is coding in that. What is coding in that? So tell me one activity and then we'll analyze it. What is coding in that with your children? Whether Pawan will say cooking also is coding. Say, yeah, certainly. But then we have talked about already. Let's take something new. Give me a child's activity and then we'll see what is coding in that. Any activity that you think you do with your children? Let me see if I have those tools with me here. No. Today my children. Okay. I have some. Okay. Behavior or expression. Okay, fine. How many of you have played with tools like this? A dice or these cowdies? You know, there are traditional games like Astachamma if you have played. Kaudi, Astachamma, and there are a lot of original Indian variants of where from the Ludo came out. A lot of original games are there. I think at least 25, 30 varieties are there in different names. So the dice is the way we throw and take the number out. That's again coding and decoding. The way you read the numbers using codis, that's also coding, decoding. So if you're playing Ludo also with your child, you're actually doing coding and decoding. As simple as that. So if you want, are you teaching your child coding? Absolutely. At what age? The earlier you play, the better it is. So Jonah, don't worry about it. You can teach your child who's perhaps 1.5 years now. You can teach coding. But use Ludo, Snakes and Ladder, Astachamma, and a lot of other games. Use dice and these kind of things. Okay, take tamarind seeds. They are amazing. Split them so that you have brown and white side of it. Okay, so that's fantastic coding. Okay, so any activity, find coding in that and feel proud that I'm teaching coding to my children and they are using coding. Okay, let's do a quick activity. I didn't use my mind map at all, but let me bring it up to show one tool that I wanted to show you. Okay, so here, can you see this grid here with me? There are 26 letters and I have put in a code. This system of coding and decoding is called ciphering. Okay, this was used in, I'm sorry, chat window is not coming. Somebody is putting there. I'll see that later, but let me talk about this first. So this system was used by a European, because it's in English, so it was used in Britain for messages between spies. So they used to code that. So what is it about? So, see, there are like tic-tac-toe grid is there. This is 3x3 grid. This is 3x3 grid, and this is like 2x2 grid. Okay, one has dot, other one pair has dot, other pair doesn't have a dot, but similar shape. Okay, now are you getting some sense? It's easier to understand it, this one. Now let me show you how I have written my name with it. Okay, let me bring my yellow board. You see this? So this is Prabhat, the way I have written. Okay, sounds interesting. There could be secret language between you and your child and nobody will understand. There could be secret language between you and your spouse and nobody will understand. Okay, people who are not yet married and in courtship, this could be another fantastic thing. Okay, message between you two, nobody will get it in front of everybody also. What is it all about? Again, some angle, some dot, some loops. That's it. Okay, so let me see if I can. Okay, I'll bring it there itself.
What is that language, Prabha?
It's called ciphering.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just trying to make it visible for you so that you see it together now. You see now? So how does it work? And this you can play with your children. Okay, so see, this is an angle with a dot. So I go into this grid and I see angle. So this is the line and this is the dot. So I need to take that corner letter, P. Okay, R is in the center. So I put a loop and a dot. So that is R. If I take A, you see A is in this corner. So I take this corner and without any dot because this grid doesn't have a dot. Take B. So I make it a loop like this. So that's wherever it is open, that's the letter. Okay. So here I'm using only these two grids. P, R, A, B, and H is opposite of it. So B and H are on opposite side. And A and then T again, I'm using this here. You see? Now I want all of you to write your name using this code now. And show me here. Okay. You might have thought Prabhat will give you some big lecture, some reasons, this, that. I felt coding is so simple. Let me not complicate the topic. It should be blasting your mind that why was I breaking my head on this? It's so simple and necessary. So did you all write your name on this with this? Or you want to write here? I can do one thing. Let me bring in the whiteboard rather than, okay, okay, right here. I'll move it here. You can see. Okay. All right. So you wrote. Subbarao, Subbareddy, can you show me if you've written on the paper? No?
Sorry, it's in the paint. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry.
No, never mind. But do you feel that this could be a great game for your children?
100%.
This was one of assignments for my children from school.
Yeah, really.
And this was one of the lessons they learned. They are still 6.5. And I was wondering why this activity. When I did it, I felt like, wow, this is coding. This is coding. So when I asked my children, what do you think about coding? So, Papa, it's very simple. My teacher gave me that assignment. That is coding. I said, which assignment? Then they showed me this. And I said right in the beginning, it's because of their sharing this whole session came out. So that's when I started thinking, yeah, this is coding and they understand it. I am also not, I am only confused. So from their thought, I took it forward. And then I start looking further, what else could be more activities. Okay, so I want to put some real life use. So you said Morse code is one. What could be another one? Crypto, and one of the cryptography is ciphering. Okay, you can find many more. You can make your own code. And somebody said Braille, right? Yeah, Braille is another one. And for deaf and dumb also, this is sign language. That's also coding. Okay. What else? Now I want you to, when you think about coding, I want you to put your children to learn these things. They will be far more valuable in life than learning how to prepare a mobile app or website. I have no idea 10 years from now they will exist also or not. Technology is changing so rapidly. But fundamental skill will always remain. The cryptography will remain, Braille will remain, sign language will remain, Morse code will remain as a technology, though not in use anymore. But it is still as a technology existing. Okay, I'll tell you something more. You might remember, but nobody uses this these days. Okay, this is called, any idea what I'm going to write now?
Oh, shorthand.
Shorthand.
Yes, shorthand. Nobody talks about it these days.
Yeah.
It's amazing coding skill. Right? Teach your children these skills. Okay, then blocks, because your thoughts are translated into design. That's coding. Okay, so this is called building blocks. You can use these. So these are tools, but for training you can ciphering you can teach yourself. Braille sign language, you may not be knowing it, or if you know it, make sure you spread it around. Every child learns it. So what is the benefit if you learn sign language?
More than we understanding, we can help somebody who doesn't understand the regular language.
Precisely. You're able to connect with a lot of those people who kind of feel disconnected. You will bring them in mainstream and tap their intelligence and talent. They may have huge amount of ideas and thoughts in their mind, maybe very innovative ones. Bring it out. I don't know, you know or not, Graham Bell's parents were deaf and dumb.
Okay.
And his main invention is not telephone. The world knows about him about telephone, but his main inventions are hearing aids. And his main motive was very obvious. He wanted to help his parents. So hearing aids was his. And what would have been his means of communication? Absolutely sign language. Right? And it was so useful there. That's what I want to bring in. Sign language, Braille, cryptography is fantastic. Professional also, they can grow. Hacking and those things are use of coding, basically decoding. Hacking is decoding. Right? Binary conversions of decimal numbers and binary to decimal, decimal to binary is again coding, decoding. Teach your children, binary to decimal. Okay. English to Roman. They are coding. Roman numbers are written very small. Fantastic coding. Okay. Do you see use of coding now? Now it can grow. Any one of you want to add to this? All right, it's going very silent today. All right, there's a power cut here. So nice. I'm coming like wholesale out. Picture is coming. Nice thing. All right. So now what's the action item from here? I want, okay, so what's the chat message? English to Greek letters too. Yeah, absolutely. English to Greek letters. Right? English to Greek letters. Let me. All right. For that matter, any translation is coding. Okay. Any translation is coding. All right. What else? And then if somebody gives you and flashes an ad of coding there, give a nice response there, okay? And don't tell Prabhat has told, otherwise they'll come killing me. All right. Now, any questions here? Okay, chat is not coming. Good so far. All right. All right. Now, like coding, we have got many skills in life. Okay. Something like translating things in terms of money. Okay. You get food on your plate. Have you ever converted that into money value? Not from added value, but how much you paid for it. That's a coding, decoding. Right? How much quantity? And that brings number calculations. You know, tap code. Yeah, that's also, and it's a cousin of Morse code only. Morse code also is a tap things only. Yeah. Yeah. So if you get things on your plate, let's say food, see that, can you decode that in terms of money? What could be the value of this? Okay, do that. Also, you get a dish, decode what all ingredients are mixed in it just by tasting it, smelling it, feeling it. So you're decoding what is there in it. It could be a game when you're doing with your, when you're eating, the first 5-10 minutes, or maybe whatever amount of time you want to spend there, it could be a game. Whoever cooks puts the puzzle in front of everybody else. Okay, figure out what I have mixed in this. Some will be obvious, some may not be obvious, and that's the challenge. Especially those spices and ground spices. Unless you're, yeah, see, they are having fun. Dumb salads, okay. Yeah, dumb salads is another coding. So the whole acting business is a coding thing, and not dialogue. So any dialogue without sound, if you deliver, then that's coding. Okay. So dumb charades is fantastic. Yeah. Now these ideas are fantastic. I'm loving all of you. And Jonah is having a gala time at home, putting puzzles in front of her husband. Does he also put the challenge on you when he cooks? Subba Reddy is saying, good, my wife is not listening.
But he rarely cooks, and if he cooks, he asks me what are the spices should I be putting. So apparently he's not able to even know which spices which. So there's no coding and decoding happening from his end.
Good. Another opportunity to put a code and give an answer in code. Okay. Let him compile it.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I tell him to do the taste test.
Right. That's so these are opportunities to have fun also. Coding can give you a lot of fun, and you can do daily activities. Right. So dumb charades is fantastic. A lot of our cultural games are coding. I talked about dice and Astashama, Ludo, Snakes and Ladders, and then there are a lot of those cultural games where you play, especially in wedding functions. Some games will be there, and I'm sure some coding will be involved there as well. Right? So use that. Okay. Now, so I wanted to open up. Coding is just a medium to open up for skills. What different skills we can bring to our children? You see that I've been talking about expanding, using the tool fully, and one topic and expand into many more topics. Then we talked about how to manage, mistakes, how to respond to mistakes from children in past few sessions. And then we talked about in one of the sessions online school, like how to manage online schools for your children. Now, if you bring these kind of things in and new skills to learn, like for instance, my children find out different key combinations to invoke the menu. That's decoding. Okay, so they told me, Papa, Alt and spacebar, if you do that, menu comes up. How did you find out? I was playing with it. So I said, I'm happy that you told me. You're not scared to tell me that you are playing with it. But I'm also happy that you found something and which I was not knowing it. So now I thank you so much for sharing with me. So he was very happy. And then he told me, Papa, when you want to join any meeting, I will set it up for you. So you don't worry about it. So I just gave him a smile. Yeah, I know. You get a chance to use that and set it up for me. So that's their achievement and accomplishment. Allow your children to do those things, because that's where a little bit of coding is involved. Okay, every day, and new skills to learn. Now, final point of today, unless you have more questions, I want to bring some of the more fundamental things here. So I was talking about different skills to be taught to children, which could be future oriented. Okay, and many people put trap on you. Okay, unless you learn this, your child is not future ready. Unless you learn this, your child is not future ready. The way I took you along, understanding the word gun, understanding the word code, likewise, you can just take that word, understand the fundamental of it, and then see where it can lead you to. Okay, let's say cooking. Okay, cooking is not about preparing a dish. Dish is an outcome of cooking. Cooking is a process. In that, sometimes you bring few things together in certain quantity, in certain order sometimes, and you apply certain processes on that. Sometimes you fry, sometimes you grind, sometimes you sort, sometimes you just deep fry, and these are the processes on that. Okay, and anybody from mechanical engineering background or manufacturing background, anybody working on manufacturing software? There is terminology called bill of materials. Heard about it? Bill of materials and routing. Okay, these two words will be there in manufacturing world. I don't know if you have not heard about it, great. If you've heard about it, fantastic. Okay, now when you're cooking, see that can you put the whole list of material, their quantities, sequence, and the process in these terminologies, bills of material and routing. And then you can do calculations on that. What could be the value? What kind of effort I'm putting it? How do I optimize it? Manufacturing process optimization, whole operation optimization is a whole big science around it, but you can start with this. Now, these are the skills which makes your child future ready. These are fundamental skills. It will never die in life. Optimization, it will never die in life. Process documentation, it will never die in life. whatever. You may be doing a different process, but you need to document that. No? So these are the fundamental ways of documenting it. So journal writing, documenting, evaluating. Okay. Any idea what is this called in modern terminologies? In one of the science, one of the very hot science today. I'm sure some of you are working on it also. Yeah, you're coming very close. AI, data science. And that can start from cooking and documenting that. Right? As simple as that. You can come up with your monthly grocery budget. Let your child do that. Okay, after doing all these things, can you tell me how much I should buy? It could be a project for your child. Let them come up with it.
But do you think that it's too early for kids less than 7, 8 years old? I mean,
Why not? They're at home. At the most, what will do? They'll do mistakes, no? Let them.
no, it's not about mistake. It's about, okay, maybe
I'm
my,
only intending them to involve them at home.
okay, got it. My perception was different. Got it.
Right? And they start seeing the depth of all the activities. This is not simply I get something and cook and then give it. No, there's a whole process behind it. It has depth. And it has expertise also. So people do for 20 years, not for fun. They get some expertise. So they get some gratitude there towards people. You see the life values also started coming. So fundamental skills of like artificial intelligence and data science that can be learned in kitchen, coding can be learned at home, and values like gratitude and teamwork and collaboration. All these things will start coming in. Discipline. If I follow my list, if I calculate this, I'll follow this. That's what is one form of discipline that develops. Many parents come and tell and ask me, how do I discipline my children? And so these are the ways we can do that. Don't discipline saying that routine, time sheet, and everybody doing it. Children are not willing to do that. But if we do it differently, they have lots of fun. So when you're keeping your child or making your child future ready, give them fundamentals, fundamental skills. These are brain activities. There are social activities, which I'm not focusing on it today, but that all those things make it holistic. Emotional, social, health I've talked about in one of the sessions. So future ready, this is the way you need to take it forward. So what's opening in your mind? What's thought running in your mind? What did you learn today?
Coding is not only means of computer programming. That's what really. So coding is exists in every activity in our life.
Absolutely, fantastic, Pawan. Thank you for sharing.
yeah, +1 for that. Thank you, Pawan. But other thing that I'm doing is some of things are obvious, but kids tend to compare with others. When everybody is surrounded by the so-called fancy things like phones, tabs, and games,
Yeah.
maybe additional effort might be needed to involve them in this. And that's what my mind is thinking at this moment. But we'll see. Without any effort, how can I conclude? Yep.
Yeah. So and this is how I have engaged my children away from. So I do not have television. My children do not have access to phones and tabs. For their online class, they come and access the laptop. That's it. Besides that, there is no access. They use a physical dictionary, that Oxford's Learner Dictionary I have from my college. So that's what they use it. Not even a dictionary app. So looking into dictionary also is coding and it's a decoding thing. Okay. Finding meaning in dictionary.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Okay. What else? I want to hear some more people. What are you getting today, and how will you use it? First of all, is it making difference? Is it making you feel light?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you, Vinay, for sharing.
Yeah.
Some more people. What did you get and how will you use it? You are using it is in my more interest. Like, how will you use it? Subhareddy is like thinking deep.
No, not deep thinking. I was just about hesitating to say something. Probably people are surrounded with kids right next to them. They can't open their mouth and speak.
Okay.
That might be one probable reason. Obviously, so.
Okay, don't worry. Ashish, thank you. Yeah, you're curious. So just express your curiosity with children. Okay. Should I share my final thing today? Are you all ready for it?
Yes, Prabha.
Okay. Have you heard about this something called learning environment? An environment where, so what do you mean by learning environment before I give the secret out? How do you make environment a learning environment?
Like questioning. So why?
Questioning why? Okay. A zone where I feel comfortable learning things. Okay. So what makes you feel comfortable learning things? Open mind. Shiv Kumar, can you elaborate a little more?
So if any one of from Telugu, maybe there is a famous dialogue in one of the movie like Enduku Emiti Ela. Why, what, and how?
All right. Okay. Okay. Let me let the secret out. Okay. So one of the mandatory ingredients of a learning environment is whoever is setting it up needs to be in learning mode first. So if parents are creating a learning environment for children, who should be in learning mode first?
We should.
Parents. Okay. And unless parents are in learning mode, it is not a learning environment. And that is true for a classroom also. If the teacher is not in learning mode, that environment is not a learning environment yet. So Shiv Kumar rightly said, it will only preaching. So what is required is practice, right? So, and that is a challenge I take all the time. So unless I bring it up, so somebody asks a question, I do not have answers all the time. So I go and put it up with my children, do something, implement it at least for 2 weeks and see what's coming out. Is it working? It's not working. Then from there I can share. Beyond that, I also don't know. I'm exploring further. So maybe we are on the same journey. But that's the difference you need to make at home. Create a learning environment at home where you're learning constantly and your child looks at you. Papa is learning, mama is learning. Learning is fun. Okay, and what could you be learning about? It's not only about hi-fi rocket science. It could be as simple like how do you play Astachamma? What are the strategies in that? People who don't know Astachamma, ask my very old friend. His name is Mr. Google. Okay, so you can ask him what is Astachamma, so you'll get a lot of it. Okay, so learning environment is to be have a center. In the center, we are there as a learner. We are not teachers. We are not facilitators. We are only learners. So children want co-learners along with them, not teachers, not adults, not preachers, no facilitators, nobody they want. They only want co-learners. So be a co-learner with your child. Your life will be far more enjoyable, far easier to handle. And they connect with you much better as a co-learner. Okay. And that has been my secret. I use it every day. And that's my first question to ask myself if I'm doing something. Am I learning? If I'm doing this session, what is that I'm learning? I learned a lot of things. You know, you said some of the new activities, I'm going to read this chat completely. Sign language, something that was not in my mind. You know, Greek letters, it was not in my mind. I'm going to explore it. How do you do that? I'll show my children how English came up. It's from Latin and Greek. Right? Yeah. All these fantastic things. So idea is to first think about your learning. Children will find their learning.